Welcome, listeners and viewers, to Story with Linda. Today, my guest is a storyteller, educator, and an architect for social change and cultural awakening. He has traveled the globe performing his stories and delivering workshops in education and entertainment sector. He has a passion for motivating young people to educate themselves within the context of their culture and has established two key festivals to accomplish that goal. Maambena Fest 100 and the National Storytelling Festival. Welcome, Usifu, to Story with Linda. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you, Linda. Thank you so much for interviewing me on your platform. I mean, it's it's uh, it's it's just a wonderful day.
Yes. And I'm so blessed to be in your presence because when you read about your story online, they talk about your infectious smile, and I see it today. I
Thank you.
I see it today. So I'm going to go into some questions for you to respond to, and in the very African style where things happen on the fly. Yusufu is in the office of the principal of the school where one of his storytelling events are happening. So we have the great pleasure of speaking to the principal after we speak with him. Okay, so Usifu Jalloh, he is originally from Sierra Leone. First of all, huge congratulations on hosting the sixth annual National Storytelling Festival in Sierra Leone. The theme this year is My Life, My Land, My Culture, Peace for Day. Talk to us about why you chose that theme for this year's festival.
Um, it's very important for us to choose a theme like my life, my land, my culture, peace for day. In Creole, we say, know yourself not to cost, not good advice. To know yourself is not an insult, it's good advice. If we are to achieve peace in our country, in Africa, we must have a good knowledge of who we are as a people, who we are as a nation. It's incredibly important. Who we are as a people is synonymous to the land that we live on and the culture, the way of life that we live. And the land that we live on determines to a large degree how we live our lives. So, my life, who am I? My land, what is my land? How does my land influence me? And basically, how is it influence how I live my life, which becomes my culture.
Right.
If we are not in harmony with our life, is not in harmony with our land, and it's not in harmony with how we live, there will never be peace with us. So, when I talk of education within the context of our culture, all of this encompasses what with the storytelling theme is about. That we're able to have harmony. Our life should be in harmony with our land. It should be in harmony with how we interact with each other daily. So the aim of this storytelling festival and this theme is to begin to encourage, to inspire our younger ones to begin to appreciate the land that they live in. Recently, in Sierra Leone, they've just introduced a new passport with printed on the passport very boldly is the chimpanzee.
Yes.
Now, a few people, I would not say a lot of people, a few people were up in arms. No, not the bamboo. How can you put bamboo on our passport?
I saw the online debate. I saw it.
Well, now my view is why not? The chimpanzees were here before us. They planted the forest for us. They've kept this environment that we call Sierra Leone thousands and millions of years before we came into being.
Right.
Why shouldn't they partake as citizens of Sierra Leone. Why should we not include them as citizens of the country and not include them in our passport? And we should take pride in them because they are part of our ecosystem. So we must learn how to live in harmony with the chimpanzees. Funnily enough, on the same passport, there are pygmy hippos. So should all the fat people now go up in arms? Or there's a fat, there's a hippo there. You know, there's many other animals that are also included in the passport. But we took a matter with the chimpanzee. Right. And that in itself has its own issue, subliminal issue, about how we see ourselves in relation to how we think other people have defined us, i.e. the European people. Absolutely. So we must begin to ask ourselves, do we truly believe that we are baboons or we are chimpanzees? Are we really defined by what the Europeans say? No, no, absolutely no. We are humans, but also we are proud of our apes, our chimpanzees, our monkeys. We're proud of all of them. They are very important to our ecosystem. As an African person, I take charge of that story because that story is what gives us the cotton tree, the baobab tree, the mango trees, the orange trees. All of those are a vital part of what makes me an African person. And I stand tall, proud to say my life, my land, my culture encompasses all of those different animals. And no European will come with his ignorance and tell me I'm a chimpanzee. I'll say, all right. Hey, no problem. I'm glad I'm a chimpanzee, a black one at that. I'm proud to be a black chimpanzee. I have been here long before you. I will be here long afterwards. That's what this story theme is all about.
All right. I love it. So why did you decide to start the National Storytelling Festival in Sierra Leone in the first place? What inspired you to do that?
Well, it's very simple. Charity begins at home. So to start this storytelling festival anywhere else would be, for me, it would be almost criminal. So I decided to come to Sierra Leone and start storytelling festival here. Look, the success or failure of every person, community, nation is entirely dependent on the narrative or the story that you conceive, that you perceive, that you believe, that you accept and eventually act upon. So I want to see my country successful. So if anything, the stories that we tell, the narrative that we have of Sierra Leone is incredibly important to be looked at, to be examined and critically analyzed so that we can create the story that we want our children to inherit of a beautiful, successful country. Hence, I am here in Sierra Leone. Let Sierra Leone, as we've been known as the Athens of West Africa, I want Sierra Leone to wipe away Athens to become the Sierra Leone of Africa, as opposed to the Athens. Where was Athens when we had the Nomoli? Where was Athens when we had the civilizations we had in Africa? Athens was nowhere to be seen. The whole of Greece was nowhere to be seen. So for me, we must correct that narrative to say we're not the Athens. No, we are Sierra Leone. We're very intelligent people. We held our own long before Greece came into power. We understood medicine. We understood mathematics. We understood a lot of other things before Greece came into being. That's why I think it's important we start the storytelling festival in Sierra Leone to rewrite the story, the history of Sierra Leone.
Critical. My next question for you is, I'm curious about your perspective on the state of storytelling in Africa in general. I don't know much about the storytelling sphere, but I'm curious from your perspective, are we maintaining the storytelling culture or are we fighting to get back to the storytelling culture?
I think we're fighting to get back the storytelling culture. And that is, there's lots of stories. There's lots and lots and lots of stories within Sierra Leone. Again, I'll go back to the education system that we have adopted. The paradigm within the education system that we've adopted has not really embraced our folklore and also have not necessarily looked at the contemporary relevance of our folklore. When we do that, we will find that there a lot of questions we have that, for which we will find the answers within our traditional folklores. So I think that because we haven't done that, the stories have been left with a lot of our people up in the country, in the villages and in the countryside. And therefore, and these stories have not been brought mainstream.
Yeah.
So my drive is that we start bringing them mainstream, because these stories carry within them effective tools to teach mathematics, biology, history, chemistry, social studies. All these stories have all of these tools in them if we learn how to use them properly. So to me, the stories are there. It's just fighting to bring them onto the mainstream.
I love that. And thank you. Thank you for fighting to bring it back into the mainstream. In other interviews, you've talked about how you had to accept that you're a storyteller, especially as someone who has been in the diaspora. I'm also in the diaspora. And so I know it's not easy to come to the diaspora and not study medicine, engineering, and all these things and tell your people, I want to be a storyteller. So I'm curious, how you came into accepting that identity and how your family and friends reacted. Now you're popular, you're known everywhere in the world and in Sierra Leone, so I'm sure everybody's happy. But, was it an easy transition, or did you have to really explain to people why this is important?
It was not an easy transition to get to accept I am a storyteller. You see, the Yoruba people say, before a child is born into this world, the last thing that the child chooses before it is born into the world is its ori. The ori is your head. In other words, you choose your intelligence, or you choose your gift, or you choose your talent or talents, which you will use to serve this world. So you're born with an instrument that you will come to serve in this world. Once you're born, it's now to your parents to figure out what that talent is, and then they will name you accordingly during the komojade or naming ceremony. They will name you accordingly. And you will grow up being taught how to sharpen that talent, that gift, or that tool, and then eventually how to use that tool to serve your community. The educational paradigms we've had not necessarily looked at the individual talents we have, unless by chance you fall into a science stream and that is your gift, or you fall into a specific area and you're lucky to meet a teacher, a head or a head teacher or a principal who figures that that's who you are, and then you're driven within that field. If you're not that lucky, you'll find yourself struggling with a subliminal ideological subversion of who you truly are, and what your true gift is. So you'll find if you're a musician or a drummer, your parents will tell you, who's kind of nonsense you have to play so? Now play you have to so they are make a pass come out now so go all you book play you go study. But truly, your gift is in playing the guitar, or it's in making an instrument, or it's in woodwork, or it's in painting, or it's even in sanitation. Somebody who's very particular about making sure the area is clean and healthy. All of these are different gifts that we have. Or in medicine, of course, you understand herbs, or you're somebody who understands nature and looks at the birds and understands how to even tell the movement of the stars and the skies and so on. So many times we miss all of this because we pursue, or we think that the paradigm that is acknowledged and accepted is only the academia. So I've been through that because I went to Prince of Wales Secondary School, where you learned amo, amas, amat, amabam, amabas, amabat, amabamus, amabatis, amabans. So you learned to conjugate Latin and French. And you and you sing songs like till Britain shall triumph, their ships plow to sea, their standard be justice, their watchword be free. Hearts of oak, our ships, hearts of oak, our men. And you wear a bow tie and a necktie and a blazer and all of that. So it means Everything about who I am, who you are, is subjugated, is kept to the back burner. You're not allowed to speak your own language in school, and it goes on and on. So my struggle to acknowledge I am an actor, I am a storyteller, I'm a bata man, I like to beat bata, I like to dance jolly, I enjoy masquerade. To acknowledge that creativity took me 30 years. Even though it is what helped me build my house, even though it is what made me pay school fees for many, many young people in Sierra Leone, took care of my mother and so on. It took me so long to acknowledge I am somebody who is articulate, who uses his word and his power of description, his power of the narrative to motivate other people, to influence other people. And therefore, when it reached a point where I wanted to elevate myself financially, prestige, status-wise, life asked me one question. Usifu Jalloh, who are you? Until I answered that question, life kept whooping me like nobody's business, kept whooping my backside. Who are you? You've got to define who you are. You've got to define it. And eventually, I came to the clear definition. I am an actor. I am a storyteller. I am an educator. I am an architect for social change and cultural awakening. When I came to that realization and that acceptance to say, this is it, I am a storyteller. Not, I would like to be a storyteller. I am a storyteller. That day, I experienced a peace that passes understanding. The whole world revolved around me. In other words, many, many purposes came to me that I fulfilled, but I got to understand that is my purpose. That is architects for social change and cultural awakening. That my tool as an orator is to serve cultural awakening and to be an architect for social change. So social change may be helping young people be the best they can be of themselves, motivating women and girls that they can also be amazing in life and that they are amazing in life. They are the source of life. Cultural awakening, to understand that everything we practice as culture is incredibly relevant and important in shaping the world that we live in and has shaped the world that we live in. All of that came to me. So and so basically, I think that once you get to that point in life, you're at ease. You are now at ease. You can now simply declare your I am and be proud of your I am. Everything else, as it says in the Bible, shall come to you.
Amen. Amen. Well, thank you so much for taking the path less traveled. You're changing lives because you said yes to your calling. Before we speak with the principal, I wanted to ask you one last thing. For our viewers and listeners who are maybe thinking, well, how do I support this great person? What does support look like for Usifu Jalloh? If someone wants to support you, what should they do and where should they go?
What a good question. First of all, anybody who wants to support me, please don't hesitate to contact me on Facebook and send me a personal message, because each person you really would whatever support you want to give, I like us to tailor it for the needs. So what I'm doing here, National Storytelling Festival, most of the time I sponsor it myself. Other times the team, all young people, and I'll take you to the hall very soon for you to see the storytelling going on right now. It's going on live right now. All these young people support in their own way. But we have many different areas where we have drumming and dancing, girls drumming and dancing. We have the drama. We have so many things. So anybody want to support, come along, bring your organization, especially if you're a Sierra Leonean. Engage the young people in what your organization is about. Inspire the young people. That is one area. Financially, of course, very important. But I would rather people get in touch with me, whether it's via Facebook, Usifu Jalloh, email me, usifujalloh@gmail.com, and just contact me, speak to me, and let us design what you think you can support with.
Thank you so much, Usifu. And he is welcome to the platform where they call now Story with Linda. Do you now introduce yourself to we? What is your name, sir?
Mina James A. Daudu. Okay. Mina principal of the Lorenzo Govi Memorial Secondary School, the senior secondary school.
Okay. And that's in Waterloo?
Waterloo. Now the highway, main motor road, Waterloo.
Wonderful. Can you just tell us what it means for this storytelling event to be happening at your school? What does it mean for you and your students?
It's very, very fine. In fact, today, the day is so colorful. You see students in their various uniforms from the various schools and heading to the hall for a competition. I'm very much impressed with Mr. Usifu Jalloh and his team for organizing this historic event in my school. And from what I'm seeing, you see the children putting their cultural attire, they have their drums, and they mask themselves in readiness for them to enter the hall so that they can do their performance. Now, this is very, very good anyway, because it is giving them some meaning about our cultural heritage. You know, storytelling is very important. Our people in those days used to at least give storytelling. They sit together, converge under the fire. The fire started telling story, and by so doing, a lot of education is taking place. But now with the use of computer and other things, it is not there. But if it is being introduced again, I think it will speak volume now, because the children will learn faster by associating themselves culturally. And so for me, it's a very fine and a big opportunity for such a program to be hosted in my school. And the children are very happy. By the time they take the camera to the hall, you will see them all seated in a very happy mood, observing the program. It is really fine anyway. They're all passing about so happy and all the rest of it.
That's wonderful. Congratulations on your school being selected to be one of the sites for the National Storytelling Festival. I'm so happy to have spoken to you. And hopefully, Mr. Jalloh can take us to see the hall now.
Yeah, Mr. Jalloh said you should take out to the hall.
Now.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure, sir. Thank you so much. All right. Hold on a second. Yep. Now, let me go there now. All right, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah. Now, so I'm just stepping out. I'm gonna see if I can flip my camera around.
Okay.
Let me try to see if I can do that. I do not know. Okay, right. I've got it now. So I'm walking now.
I see some young people behind you.
Yes. Now I am going, and the hall is literally rampacked. I'm going up the hall. You can see this little boy who's just passed me here.
Yes.
So please, can you all clear the way for me quickly, please? Okay, now the right now they're being addressed by the guy Ansumana Keita, who actually like sees over the whole festival and the organization. The organization itself is called Patriotic Advocacy Network. And what we do is we go around right across the schools, across the country, over Freetown. We've opened chapters in close over 50 to 80 schools, actually, I think, across the country. We are teaching the young people about patriotism, teaching them about discipline, teaching them about not taking bribes and not paying bribes to no teachers. We are actually promoting all of this. So this storytelling festival is also about that as well. Wow. Yeah. So you can see the hall is absolutely packed full, all with young people excited from the various schools, and they are all here to support their school. Now, let me bring you. This is one of the This is one of the schools starting.
Oh, okay.
So when they come in, they're really coming full force. So
yeah, in the full regalia.
Like in the full regalia. So yeah. So
Wow.
I think one or two other schools have already participated, so I'll just take you right to the front. And now this gentleman here, this is Mr. Ansumana Keita.
Hi, Ansumana.
We are here for NSF, Western Area Rural.
All right.
Faraway International Student.
Okay, this school is Faraway International, and so all the judges are here.
Okay.
Right.
Wow, this is incredible.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
Okay.
Thank you so much for taking us on this journey.
Okay.
It's so lovely.
Give me some idea of what's going down.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And this is just one area where tomorrow we're going to the western area urban, which is even bigger than this area. Okay. So
a long time ago,